So the next big Star Wars movie, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, might already be dead. And honestly, that might be the best thing that could have happened to the franchise right now. But before we get too deep into that, I want to talk about why fans, including many of you watching this video, are actually relieved that this film may never see the light of day. Because at this point, the biggest question isn't just what's next for Star Wars, it's can Star Wars ever get its magic back? James Mangold, the director behind Logan and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, was set to explore the very beginning of Star Wars. Set 25,000 years before the Phantom Menace, Dawn of the Jedi would have told the story of how the Force was first discovered, how people learned to connect to it, use it, and eventually form the First Jedi Order. Sounds pretty epic, right? A galactic creation story, one that people have been begging for. But now, Mangold's new deal with Paramount makes it almost impossible for him to direct a Star Wars film anytime soon. So that means the Dawn of the Jedi movie is probably not happening. Now I might argue that this cancellation could possibly be a blessing in disguise. For a minute, let's think back to 1999. Every time Star Wars seemed to want to explain the Force, whether or not it was George Lucas or Disney, it always seems like fans revolt. We saw it first with the midichlorians in the Phantom Menace. That one line about microscopic life forms took something mysterious and made it sound like a biology lecture. Now, over time, fans have come to accept this. Fans didn't want science. They wanted spirituality. So imagine taking that controversy and stretching it into an entire movie. That's what Dawn of the Jedi risked doing. If Mangold went too far, it would rewrite the mythos of the Force. If he didn't go far enough, well, what's the point of making the movie at all? Either way, we are the ones who lose. We, the fans. And then, fast forward to 2024. Well, we had to watch The Acolyte. Another project that dared to go back in time. It promised something new, but instead split the fanbase even more. Fans want legacy characters, familiar eras, Andor, Mandalorian, and even Ahsoka. These shows proved that when Star Wars focuses on emotion and character instead of rewriting the rules, it can still soar. Now, each one of these series had its own issues, but they were much better than Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor returning to Star Wars, and we make it about Reva and young Leia. Although the Skeleton Crew, in my opinion, was a fun story, it still wasn't about the legacy of what came before. So maybe, just maybe, letting Dawn of the Jedi die was Lucasfilm avoiding yet another disaster. So after scouring the internet for some comments on this, I want to share with you just a few, and I'm going to comment about what they had said. So first up, we have this comment by Wazdykik. They say, is it not just using the material from the already existing comic book story of the same name? I found that a pretty interesting read. And yeah, that's the thing. The Dawn of the Jedi comics were actually really good. They explored the Jedi Order before the Jedi even existed, and there was so much potential there. But adapting that properly, without confusing new fans or upsetting old ones, that's a challenge Lucasfilm hasn't shown that they can handle lately. This comment here from Andrew K. I don't know if it really matters at this point what Disney does next with Star Wars. The only thing they've done consistently is drive audiences away. Now this one hurts me. It really does, because it's true. Older fans feel alienated. Prequel era fans are hanging on by a thread, and the younger generation, they're not exactly buying in. It's like the galaxy far, far away has never felt more distant. This comment here from Dan Coop. Abandon the current canon and start over with the Thrawn Trilogy. Recast Han, Luke, and Leia. That's the only way to save the franchise. Now I get that frustration. This is something I have stated over and over again on this channel. Zahn's Thrawn Trilogy is one of the best pieces of Star Wars storytelling ever written. Still, when so many fans are asking for a reset, it tells you just how lost the current storyline feels. Now there's other comments below this one saying that starting over could become nuclear. The next comment is from user MNGGAL, and they say, "It should be stated that the idea of exploring this far back in time isn't original to Mangold. It's straight out of EU material." And that's exactly correct. And this is what frustrates so many fans. Lucasfilm already had a roadmap for this entire era. In Legends, they didn't need to invent something new. They just needed to respect what came before. Instead, they keep trying to reimagine things that didn't need fixing to begin with. Finally, we have this comment by Maggie L. She says, "Disney's chasing new audiences who don't even care about Star Wars anymore." And that is the part that stings the most. Star Wars used to be for everyone. Now it feels like no one really knows who it's for. That's why something like Andor or Ahsoka hits so hard. It proves that when the story comes first, fans of every generation will show up. So in closing, maybe the death of Dawn of the Jedi isn't exactly a tragedy. It's a moment to breathe. A reminder that not every mystery needs solving. Star Wars was built on wonder, the unseen, the mythical, the spiritual. If the franchise wants to survive, it has to rediscover that sense of awe. Because maybe, just maybe, the best way to honor the Force is to leave some of it unexplained. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Should Lucasfilm have given Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi a chance, or was it doomed from the very beginning? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe if you want more deep dives into Star Wars. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.